Hello and welcome to Bethan's Kitchen and Garden. Today I'm going to be doing some jobs in the front garden. I've got a fair bit to tidy up and a bit to move around, so I'll show you my jobs and I'll set you up on a before and after shot, and you can see my progress. Just outside my greenhouse is where I've got my potatoes in pots growing, and they look a bit messy here, so I'm just going to move them to a different area. And then in my actual greenhouse, everything on the top is growing away nicely. I did have some potatoes in pots on the floor, but I've just shown you them. I put them outside. These potatoes have been overwintered and they're probably ready for a harvest soonish. So I don't know if we'll get around to harvesting them today, but they're on my list of things that I need to do soonish. And then I also want to put in these shelves to go back in here, just to give me a bit more room, so I can clear some of the tomatoes off my windowsills and put them into here for the time being, really to harden off before I put them outside. I'm talking about my tumbling toms because they are getting quite big. I've also got my set of shelves that I was making here. I need to finish that job off as well. And then my strawberries, they are in my cold frame there. They need to come out to go on these shelves, and then we'll see if I've got anything else that will grow in and amongst the strawberries. Very exciting news today though. Well, not today as such, but we have our first asparagus spear. So that is actually ready for harvesting now. There are a couple more. It's kind of like hunt the spears at the moment, but there's one sort of in between those two onions there. But that's not ready yet. So it will just be this one little lone spear being harvested. And anyway, I'm sure it'll be nice in a stir fry or something. Yes, if I just show you the strawberries that are growing in here. They are doing really well. I could have done really with changing the compost in those pots, because it's the same compost they've been in since last year. But what I'll do is I'll put a layer of fresh compost on top, get rid of all the weeds that are growing, tidy up the plants and give them a feed of fish blood and bone. So that's what I need to do there. Then my blueberry plants, these are dead. I think they have got no leaves on them, and they should have leaves by now. I don't know why. I think maybe they weren't watered enough last year, or they didn't get enough water last year. Either way, they're pretty brown under there. So I've got those other 6 in my greenhouse, and I'll need to pot them on and bring them around to show you. In this bed I've got some raspberry runners that need taking out. So these ones here, if I had anyone I could give them to, I would, but I don't think, I think I've given some to my neighbours in the past, so I don't think they need any. But also these raspberries are just flying along now, and this happens every year, and I want to do the same sort of thing I did with my broad beans, where I just put in a sort of like support system essentially. There's no point in me going through it, you'll see it when I've done it. So yes, I need to pull out the spare raspberry plants because they'll just take energy from the main plants, and then I won't get so many fruits off the main plants, so I need to do that. You can see that some are even outside of the bed now, so they really need pulling up too. And then over here I need to weed this, put on some fresh compost and plant out my beetroot. Look at that tulip, isn't it lovely? The tulips have been really nice this year. Unfortunately there's that one on the floor, but some have already been and gone and some are still about to come along. And actually my Acer has come back, which I thought was dead. I really thought that was dead. And how it's come back, I don't know. The other two I had died, but that's all good. Yes, so beetroot going in this bed as well, and beetroot going in this bed as well. And then I've got weeding to do, and my potatoes are going to go here for the time being, just along this front, in front of the grapevines. And then I've also got weeding to do in these beds too. Right, so without any further to do and waffling on, let's get some jobs done. So I'm just cutting away all of the dead leaves because we don't need them in there, they're not doing any good. I'm cutting away any slightly damaged ones. I got a bit of brown on them. Okay, so now all those have gone. Just snip away the really brown bits as well. Okay, so now that's all trimmed up. I'm just going to put in a little bit of blood, fish and bone. Mix it in a little bit and then just add some fresh compost around the outside. So I've gone around the outside rather than cover the crown of the strawberries. And that's the strawberries done. Notice a little bit of brown on these leaves. Now that's the strawberries done. So I have eventually got all my jobs finished. I'll just walk you through what I've done and talk you through any changes or why I did them. So the shelves in the greenhouse, I didn't screw back in. I just put in a block there and a block the other side. So I've just placed the shelf on top, and that's very simply for ease of taking the shelf in and out as and when I want to. It does mean that this originally clipped in there, but now that's lower because the shelf is higher, but I've thought of a way around that, so if I need to I can just put a batten in to support the underside of that. My set of shelves is now complete. I'm very happy with how that's looking. I've still just got to do the bottom, where I just need to put in some compost sacking and drill some drainage holes into the bottom of the containers, and then when my meteor peas have grown on a bit, I can put them in place and they can start to grow. Similarly, my set of strawberry shelves are no longer just strictly strawberry shelves. I have got El Santa in these two here. Then I've got Sweetheart in these 4 tubs here. And then at the back is Montana. And then I've got onions and carrots also growing there. This cold frame is now empty, but it does have bubble wrap inside it, which I want to use to just make it a bit more heat, to keep the heat in essentially, because I don't feel like it's as warm in there as it could be. My blueberries have been potted on and I've just sunk those into the ground for the time being. They will always grow on in pots now, very simply because when I put the raspberry canes this side, then all I have to do is move the pots to that side every 4 years or so. I've explained that before, haven't I? I don't want to repeat myself. The raspberries, they have shot up since I did the frame around them. I must have done the frame about 3 or 4 days ago, and they have just shot up because now I need to do another level around there, so that will keep them from flopping over and being hard to harvest. My beetroot is in. I've just put the net in across simply to keep my cat or other cats from getting in there and scratching it all up. My potatoes, they are coming through now. Everything's sort of like grown a lot in the last week, and I got around to weeding this bed. And I also weeded the asparagus bed. So that's it for today. All that's left is for me to show you the harvest. So there's some lettuce and Welsh onions there. Spinach there. These are the last of my carrots now until those ones in tubs are ready. That's the radish, that's the last of the radish from my greenhouse. I do have some in beds, but that's the last picking for that for a while. This is also the last of the beetroot. I've picked all of that now until that beetroot I just showed you starts to need to be harvested. Got a bit of yellow chard here. Asparagus, the first asparagus of the season. Well, actually it's not the first asparagus. I've had 3 spears before, but that's the first sort of good harvest. And then I've also got some rhubarb. Oh, and I've got some purple sprouting broccoli I need to harvest too. Just dashed off to harvest these. So here's 2 punnets of purple sprouting broccoli. Well, I'm very pleased with my harvest, and I'm very pleased to have got those jobs done today that I managed to get done. They're those kind of jobs that you don't always get around to doing until it's too late. So I'm pleased to have got them done, and that's it for me for today. Hopefully next time I'll be putting some tomatoes into this greenhouse. I'll be planting them into the bed behind me, and hopefully I'll be getting on with putting a few other things into pots and whatever needs doing really. So hopefully I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing and commenting if you've done so. I really do appreciate it. And all I can say about my work today is lovely job, and take care everybody.